attack. Socke spawning as our teal Protoss player. And in the bottom left-hand corner is his opponent, the pink Zerg player from Team Evil Geniuses. That is Machine.
That's right. Now, Machine has chosen Daybreak for this map. It's a bigger map. We've talked about it before. It's a large two-player map, so Machine has to have a very specific strategy planned out for this. I would imagine it involves taking 3 bases relatively early, and then I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw him go Infestor Tech after that. That seems to be what Zergs like to do on this map, whereas Socke wouldn't be surprised at all to see him go Nexus first. You know, I almost wonder if Machine is kind of counting on that and has some sort of early attack plan. There's just a lot of possibilities that these guys could do. I mean, we should just wait and see what happens.
I don't know, man. I think you've outlined it right there. I don't think I can sit back. The game has been casted. We'll just see it unfold.
I could be completely wrong, too, in all of this. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, or someone just, Socke decides to go like 2 base DTs or something ridiculous like that.
Never know, man.
So it happened actually, the reason I bring that up is because it happened in IPL Team Arena, but
oh, really?
Yeah, nonetheless, on this map, no less. So here we have it. Socke is, more, like you said, more than likely going to throw down the Nexus first again. And I would not be terribly surprised to see Machine just go like 2 base heavy Ling Roach. He already has his spawning pool coming down. He's not even going to mess with the shenanigans of the probe trying to deny his natural this time.
Yep, I mean, he's doing that kind of economical, safe opening that Zergs can do against Protoss, getting that spawning pool up, not really worrying about the gas for now. Look at that, sending 2 drones down to the natural, 1 to go off and scout and help the other drone make sure that the hatchery gets built. Oh, is that probe actually going to be able to mess with it? It will! Looks like scouting drone left a little bit too early, man. He left his friend high and dry.
Yep, and looks like Machine is not going to have the same opportunity to deny his opponent's natural like he did last game, as the Nexus is already coming down for Socke.
That's right, and a pylon being warped in at the natural expansion as well. The drone kind of doing its little like wet noodle slap with its claws against the warping in pylon. You know, how do you really beat a trans-dimensional warp to death, though? That's the question I have, I guess, for this
I have always wondered about
what
that.
What is he expecting to really do against that warping in pylon?
Just like your fists interfere with the field of warpage.
He's just like lucky that part of his claw didn't end up on some Protoss homeworld on the other side somehow. That's all I gotta say.
That's actually what you're doing. You're just punching the pylon in ire, just through the warp. You're going through the other way.
The Zelt's about to step into a gateway, and this fist comes out of nowhere and just punches him in the face. It's a risk of being a Protoss.
Forge is up, though, and the gateway's being added to this nice little wall that Socke is going to have going here in a second. Photon cannon being added behind, out of range of any roaches. And Machine finally has his expansion down. So all quiet on the western front for now.
Yeah. Eastern front, actually, on this map. What kind of northeastern front, I guess it would be?
I suppose so.
I don't know.
I'll buy it for $1.
I only have Korean money in my wallet, actually, right
Good
now.
enough for me. More money than I have in my wallet. Anyway, double assimilators coming down for Socke now, so he is going to move into some sort of tech. If we see Stargate play again, I just don't know, man. I mean, it's super risky. Like you mentioned, it's kind of been a coin flip the way that the metagame sits right now with ZVP. So who knows? He's got a pylon buried here in the top right-hand corner, though, so we may see some hidden tech.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, putting a pylon out that early certainly seems like it might suggest something with that. That was like the least sort of conclusive sentence I could ever see. Certainly seems like it might suggest something. That just basically says, I don't know.
And that's actually where the cybernetic score is going to go. So it happened that we might have possibly seen something else, but indeed it was a cybernetic score.
Who knows?
3 base coming out of Machine, though. He's going to his 3rd very quickly in response to the very fast Nexus opening from Socke. No real big surprise there.
That's right. Only 1 gas for Machine right now, too. So not going into any sort of really gas-heavy tech at the moment. Just wants to really keep hammering out those drones. Probably is going to spend the 100 gas to get the Zergling speed. Might decide to spend the first 100 gas to get the lair if indeed he does want to get a really fast infestation pit.
Socke has so much gas saved up now that I think he's just going to save up the extra resources. Oh, no, wait, no, hold on. He does have actually +1 weapons coming out. So,
okay.
I mean, unless he was actually going to do some sort of heavy gateway play, it seems odd that he would allocate the amount of resources for that right away.
Well, there's different options there really with that. You want to start building up some gas if you're going to go for some sort of like 6 gate +2 blink timing or something like that, which is still pretty popular in ZVP. So that he's got a couple different options as to where he's going from here.
And taking a look at it, looks like Socke is actually putting up a robotics facility. He has one coming up in the top right-hand corner where that pylon was.
right.
So not sure what he's going to use that for, but Roach Warren coming out of Machine.
I wonder if we might be seeing some DT drops here, actually. That's, you know, there's only a couple reasons why you'd want to kind of hide that robo and build up gas at the same time. I don't know, my DT sense is tingling, man.
He does have quite a bit of gas up, but he did produce 4 more gateways at the moment, 5 more gateways, 6 more gateways.
More. Okay, it's going to be that 7 gate, never mind.
7 gates.
Getting that observer as well.
Yeah, that was 7. Anyway, had to count them. Had to get it right. Can't do my impression unless you give as many ahs as you have counts.
That's true, man.
Anyway, Stalker and Sillet making their way across the map. They will be greeted by enough units to turn them away, but
What
of
do
course...
they think this is, PvP? Why are they out there by themselves?
Well, they could get swarmed by Zerglings here in a second, as Machine has 14 of them coming up. Of course, they are speedless. Speed going to finish up in 35 seconds.
Oh, there's the Warp Prism going right now for Socke. No Dark Shrine, no Twilight Council so this will be like a good old-fashioned Warp Prism harass. And,
Certainly.
I mean, Warp Prisms are so much more useful now that they're more durable. I'm so happy that Blizzard made that change. I love any change that makes a unit more appealing to use, you know?
Certainly, and especially one that was as grossly underutilized as the Warp Prism.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw players like the Special Tactics of White Raw,
That's right.
but really that was about the only use for him at the time. Now, let's see here, these Zealots doing quite a bit of damage as they already have +1, so those they're a lot more effective against those Lings. I imagine the Machine would have thought.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, Machine has got so many options. I mean, Socke, rather, has got so many options as how he wants to handle this. He could pressure the front, warp in a bunch of Zealots in the back, try to snipe the lair. That's been pretty popular lately.
But there are
Can't wait to see what he wants to do.
There are a ton of Roaches already up for Machine, and he should be able to push those units through a choke. He actually is going to do
look
that,
at this.
picking off both Stalkers and all of these Zealots very quickly at the same time.
Look in the main, man. Look at that. Sentries blocking the entrance. More Zealots being warped in. He's got plenty of sentries with energy there.
Wow.
And these Zealots are just going to go to town on every building in EG's main.
And there's Stalkers taking down this hatchery over here on the left-hand side as well. The third Machine has not quite responded to that yet because he was a little more concerned with that drop you were talking about in the main.
Yeah, look at that. Wow, Socke just all over the place right now, giving Machine a lot to think about. Man.
And yeah, let's see here. Socke really keeping up on this. This is working out so well for him. He was actually down by 35 supply. Of course, he had a major tech advantage and was saving up for warp-ins, but still finding a way to just obliterate his opponent's defenses. I don't believe any of these sentries have fallen.
Machine, though, going for a huge counterattack at the natural of Socke, and Socke only has 2 cannons to defend it. No cannons in his main right now, so Machine could do some damage to him as well.
Yeah,
Rogue's
certainly.
getting pulled.
Oh my god, Socke is probably going to take out this lair, though. There's really nothing here to protect the rest of these drones in the main. However, like you said, Socke losing so much of his own as well.
Yeah, look at this Machine brilliantly putting some spine crawlers behind his mineral line. That is so smart. Unfortunately, it's not going to save his lair.
No, not at all, but he is starting to rally in enough units to go ahead and hold this. He's going to need just a little bit of anti-air to take out that Warp Prism. However, lair does go down, so his tech is set back quite a bit. He lost all of his tech structures as well. He's rebuilding his Roach Warren at the moment, but this Nexus in Zaka's main is going to fall.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look just to the right of the Nexus for Socke. Look at how well that pylon is protected by those buildings. That is some great SimCity, keeping all those buildings warping in and safe.
Yeah, absolutely. A Machine actually just running into the natural to try and take out a couple of probes, so the photon cannon did just finish. However, Socke was not done with these drops, was still doing quite a bit of damage, now finally picking up and moving away as the hatchery is re-put down back at the natural. But my God,
That was insane.
that was a ridiculous like 4 or 5 minutes of that game.
I know, these guys taking big chunks out of each other, ending up at similar supplies, although Machine will be able to kind of get back to where he was a little bit quicker. He is 1 base up on Socke. That makes a huge difference in this game right now.
Yeah, Machine has a bunch of banked resources as well, so once he gets his production back up and a couple of hatcheries reestablished, he should be able to just pump endless amounts of units. He has 10 roaches on the field, but I think we're going to see a lot more here pretty quickly.
Well, right now, he's got the supply built up to just keep pumping units as fast as he gets a drone.
Another drop at the third of Machine. Loses a couple of units. The Stalkers are continuing to do damage.
Oh, they're going to kill the second spawning pool. Can Machine respond in time?
and he's sending out an attack force of his own over on the right-hand side.
so.
And Socke, though, he's only got one photon cannon, actually 2 photon cannons up and a sentry to defend.
The second spawning pool killed off by ATN Socke. EG Machine doing some damage at the natural as well. So, wow, again, these guys just trading. This, like, sometimes a game seems like a slap fight, you know? A little bit of damage back and forth. This seems like it's just two boxers, like, you know, haymakering each other. I don't know if you could make a verb out of haymaker, but
haymakering, no, I like it. Do it. Get it done. This Nexus already taking quite a bit of damage. This drop, though, for Machine was not taken care of until right now, so it continued to do damage. I actually want to take a look at the workers killed. Machine has killed 31 workers. Socke has only killed 16. This Nexus actually getting very low, but the roaches are being shot down, and it looks like Socke's going to have enough to defend.
Yep, actually the roaches do burrow, and Socke has nothing he can see it with right now. He is chrono boosting out an observer, so this will only last for just a moment. His Nexus should be just fine. But, you know, by the same token, EG Machine's still about 30 supply ahead at this point.
Another drop in Machine's natural. Pretty good Warp Prism micro there.
Wow,
Socke picking up those units as they were taking damage and floating away.
Man, there's the Infestation Pit finally going down for EG Machine. He wants to be able to fungal those Warp Prisms, get rid of them.
And Socke going to go back to mining at the moment. He does have plenty of production structures. He just needs to be able to rebuild his economy, because he is only on 30 workers to his opponent's 59.
Well, you can tell that when he was doing this Warp Prism attack, he kind of took it as a very likely option. He would have to face a large counterattack, and he prepared his bases as such that he really didn't lose too much other than the Nexus.
And it looks like Sokke's going to have to pick up in this Warp Prism. Of course, if this had been an earlier patch, that Warp Prism would have been dead by now, but much hardier and lasting quite a while.
Very true. Yeah, the Warp Prisms have become a pretty impressive unit.
And there, Robo Bay being added to the mix for Socke. And, okay, it looks like he actually can get units out of that Robo facility. I forgot if it was full walled off or not.
Yeah, well, remember back on Scrap Station, there was that bug where you could, like, walk Colossi off the edge of the cliff and walk them around out in, like,
It was so
Oblivion.
cool. I played around with that for a long time. But, Socke actually going to clean up a number of units here in the middle. Of course, with that +1 upgrade still, these Zerglings are unupgraded and not terribly effective against those Zealots.
A couple of them get away, but yeah, he did take some losses there as well. Burrow is being hugely helpful if he can burrow in a place where the Observer is not right now.
And let's see, you know, the Machines, his economy is great. He's way up in supply. He's adding a ton of units to the mix, and he's teching effectively. So he's playing a very, very good game. It's really on Socke to try and make something happen at the moment.
Yeah, and Socke's pretty far behind. He's going to have a really hard time holding any sort of third base this game. Machine is getting his fourth as well, getting a Spire, which I'm really excited about. And on a big map like this, when you have your bases really spread out, getting a Spire is such a good way to keep them safe.
Yep, and drop here on the top left-hand corner. Oh! Actually, Socke loses one of his, you know, the whole time he had been dropping with those 4 Stalkers, that was the first unit he lost. So, nice job on his part nonetheless. A big attack coming through, though.
Yep, 1 Immortal in the mix, a couple Zealots. Observer as well to see if, but does he have enough to take on Machine's army? I don't know, man. I mean, Machine's got a pretty scary army here. Oh,
there's the Infestors. The Infestors riding to save the day. Dun, dun, dun,
That's right.
dun, dun, dun,
It's like the cavalry arriving, although seeing an Infestor ride a horse would be a very strange image indeed.
More Reyna riding the Infestor. But
Yes.
the Immortals picking away at the Roaches, but there's just too many units here for Machine, and Sokke's attack is going to be crushed. Now Machine has an 80 supply advantage.
Yep, and the Mutas are on the way. Socke really has no response to this right now. He does have a cannon in the mineral line at its natural, but his main is pretty undefended, man. That pylon that we talked about being so well protected earlier, it's not well protected against Mutalisks.
No, it's really not. Let's see, 5 Mutas being added to the mix, so Machine is in a pretty commanding position in this game. Socke has not been able to expand off of his 2 bases. He's running low on minerals at both of them, and things are looking increasingly grim as Machine's going to make a big attack trying to end the game right now.
Yep, and this one Colossus, despite having the Thermalance upgrade, is just not going to be enough to hold this off. Roaches are pretty durable against Colossi. The Mutas, of course, are going to do quite well against them.
Indeed, and a bunch of infested Terrans popping up as well to deal with those sentries. Now, the Colossi are actually taking a lot of kills, but there are a few Mutas that are walking in now.
Socke's force fields were just brilliant as far as making this attack doing the least amount of damage possible. But yeah, with the mutas, with all the units coming in, I just don't think Socke can hold this in the late game. He might be able to barely push Machine back right now, but
he's lost so many workers right now as well, though. He's down to 50 supply, and Machine is just going to be able to send wave after wave after wave of units at him.
Yep, that's right. He's got a couple Corruptors on the way as well to handle the last Colossus, just in case he needs it.
And Mutas in the top left-hand corner have actually killed a number of workers as well. And there are the Corruptors. Yes, but
for now, but
we'll see if he can make another stand here in a second, because there are a lot of units coming his way.
Well, you know, the big problem too is that Socke just has not been able to even like think about building a third at any point in this game.
Right,
I mean, Machine has just been controlling him so well. Looks like the fourth base was taken out though by Machine, so that's a nice little score. Oh no, the probe. Oh, he started the hatchery and then it was not canceled. That is a pretty scary immortal right there.
Yeah, it is. 8 kills to its credit. Nothing else moving in though. Yeah, and here we go. The Corruptors are going to make their way in here in just a second. This Colossus has actually recovered its shields, but very low in health whenever those shields go away.
Yeah, well, there are a decent amount of Corruptors out on the field. 8 actually out right now, and they're going to make short work of that Colossi.
And here we go. We're going to make our way in, and the Colossus falls down right away. Corruption going to start hitting those units as well. Infestors following behind. There's not a lot of ground attack units. Machine starting to slowly stream those in.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little bit surprised that Machine decided to move in with a force this small. I mean, Socke, he can handle this pretty easily with what he's got, honestly.
Yeah, but the fungal growths are still pretty powerful nonetheless, and a lot more units from Machine are they're just streaming in slowly.
If Machine can trade units like this with Socke, that's exactly what he's happy with doing, because he can reproduce those units. It's not going to be very long before Socke can't.
And yeah, so unfortunately Machine's Corruptor sitting on the top right-hand corner, a little bit useless, but the Roaches are making their way in. These Stalkers were actually pretty low in health, so the Roach is going to be able to do quite a bit of damage.
Yep, more Roaches just streaming across the map as well as Lings. I mean, Machine's just going to keep making units until Socke is dead right now, and I would give it, you know, maybe 30 seconds until the GG. We'll see. We'll do a countdown here.
Yeah, it was 24:02 when you first said that, so I will hold you to it.
We'll see. Socke, you know, he played a good game. He did a lot of good harassment with the Warp Prism. Managed to kill the lair in Machine's Natural, but, you know, ultimately, again, Machine just playing so well today. Just a little bit too much for Socke. GG.
25 seconds.
Oh, I was close. And, yeah.
There we have it.
Machine.